Welcome everyone. I'm going to stand over here. I think you can see me well. Thank you very much for joining to our webinar here from Barcelona, actually, from Elborn. We're finally able to actually go into our center again, and with all the precautions we can actually have these kind of meetings again with a limited amount of people, but at least we're able to kind of do some socializing again. And today we're making use of that by giving a live webinar from the Center of Open Cultural Center. And we're going to present 4 stories from you from 2 different organizations. First, we actually have Migracode students. Migracode is, well, it's basically the first code school for migrants and refugees here in Barcelona, where we try to support people with a migration background in getting the skills necessary to actually work in tech as a programmer, as a software developer. So we have Ananda Maya from Venezuela, who's going to tell her story of how she got to Spain and how she got involved into Migracode, and how Migracode is actually supporting her in her journey to become a software developer. And the same for Moaz, who came from Syria, who's been here for a few years now in Barcelona, and also going to tell his story about getting to Spain, getting to Catalonia here in Barcelona, and how he got involved into Migracode, and how he is actually quite close on getting a job right now. And then we have Mediterranea, an organization, well, they will explain it way better than me, the organization that is working on the Mediterranean Sea, actually safe. So it's really let's say field work, where they directly save lives on the sea. So Paula is actually going to give an introduction about Mediterranea, and after that Ananda Maya is going to share her story with you from her journey coming from Venezuela to Spain. So thank you very much for joining. Paula, you can take over.
Here?
Perfect.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Awesome.
Hi everyone, thanks for the invitation. Migracode and Open Cultural Center, it's nice to meet you all. So just quick introduction, Mediterranea, as Vincent said, does sea rescue. Yeah, so we do 2 things, monitoring and sea rescue. I'm going to explain a bit more later. Our full name is Mediterranea Saving Humans, and we mostly focus our work on the central Mediterranean, especially with the route of migration coming in from Libya. We've been working for about, well, this summer it's going to be our 2nd year, and we have rescued more than once. We're going to tell you more about it. One thing that we didn't mention is we are going to have a Q&A session at the end. So whenever one of us is talking, if you have any questions, please write them in the chat box. And at the end of all of our 4 talks, we're going to go back to them. And Vincent is going to moderate them. And we're going to have some time for a conversation as well to use the full potential of webinars, where at least we can connect in different ways from the usual. So I will leave now the floor to Ananda Maya, and welcome here.
Hi, my name is Ananda Maya Arano. I come from Caracas, Venezuela. I came here in August 2019. I will try to tell my story of how my life was in Venezuela, because I believe each experience is different. I started studying computer science in one of the most renowned public universities of my country. It's called the Central University of Venezuela. But I couldn't finish. I reached close to half of my whole career. Among the situation in my country, Venezuela is such a nice country that it's going through very complicated situations right now. Something that encouraged me the most to come here was the salaries in my country are about less than 40 euros a month, the average minimum salary, as of today. And that was the salary that the university professors would receive. And well, many of them migrated to other countries, and the university in general has started deteriorating throughout these years. There have been too many protests, mainly from students, that are asking basically to have minimal life quality. And with these low salaries and with the whole economical and political situation, there has been too much abandonment from the students there. So I decided to come to Spain for these reasons, and mostly because of my father's medical condition. He has a very delicate and complicated medical condition, and I would say that one of his main problems, among others, is that he suffers from renal insufficiency. He was told by the doctors back in my country that he needed to receive dialysis treatments 3 times a week. But unfortunately, told by them, the dialysis was not available in public hospitals. And he could have access to these treatments if he go to a private clinic. And the doctors let him know that each treatment would cost about $400. So $1,200 a week on medical treatments is something you just cannot afford in a country where your monthly salary is $4. And it was kind of complicated, so we decided that the best was to go out. And we decided to come to Barcelona because my sister has been here for about 5-6 years by now, and she with too much effort, she and her boyfriend helped us come here. And me, my father, and my boyfriend, we arrived here in August 2019. The second we got here, my father, he started receiving his medical treatments. And the doctors told them that it was like good timing, because if he would have stayed 2 more months in my country without receiving the treatments he needed, he might not be with us right now. So yeah, when I come here, I was not expecting to be able to study, because my priorities were I want to settle down. I have to settle down here. I have to cover my primary needs in here, and I wanted to help my family here, and the family I have left in Venezuela. And in my head, there was no room for studying. I didn't think I could, mostly because I don't have the money. I didn't have the money to think about going to school or to university, so I thought it was not possible. Then I heard from Migracode, because my boyfriend was working as a courier, and we found that they were offering a web development course. So we decided we would take a chance, because we have always liked programming, and we had some knowledge, some background. And we were not expecting to be able to be studying together even. We thought, okay, maybe just one of us could enter the course, and we'll see how we'll manage. And we took a chance, we tried, and here we are, both of us studying together. We really couldn't believe it. We were so happy when they told us that we would both be in our classes together. And from the day one, the team of Migracode told us, we're gonna be here not to help you only with every tech-related issues you might have, but with any personal situation you might be going through. So you have everything to be able to complete the course. And at that moment, I noticed that I was very fortunate. I'm fortunate to be here with my family, but I thought if I was alone, all by myself here in a country that I don't know, having this kind of support, I wouldn't feel alone, actually. And I think it's a very great initiative, because when you're a migrant or you're a refugee, and you're alone, and you have to leave your country due to some circumstances that you obviously didn't choose, it's nice to feel this kind of support because it might help you in this journey. After we started the classes, all of this situation happened. We went through all of the state of alarm, and all of the classes were moved to be online. And it was a huge challenge, not only for the students, but for all of the team. And even though it was this big challenge, there was not a single day when we didn't have classes. Everything continued, everyone is trying so hard to make all of this possible. And it's such a pleasure to be a part of this great initiative. It's helping me, it's preparing me to be able to become a software developer, something that I would really like to be. It would help me get a good job, to be able to help my family, to be able to continue helping the people I love, and hopefully to get a better future. I would really like to be, I would like to be able to give back some of this knowledge that I'm receiving. Because the fact of being with this amazing team, that they even gave us computers, so we didn't have to worry, and here you have a laptop, you will be able to do your homework, you will be able to study. I want to give back to some people that might want this opportunity the same way that I got it. So I would be very happy to give back, and I want to thank Migracode and all of this amazing team. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Eleanor. Probably a lot more people are applauding. Cool.
Here
So,
I am.
Paula, here you go.
Hello. Just go tech. All right. Hi, everyone. So I'm back here. Mediterránea. Yeah, so we are very thankful to Migracode for inviting us. Like we said before, we're very happy to be networking with people who take care of the next step, the one that comes after us, which is building a new life from scratch. As Anandamaya just said, it's not so easy. So basically, to give you a quick rundown, what is Mediterránea Saving Humans? Like I said before, what we do, the first aim of Mediterránea is to monitor what is happening in the Mediterranean, in the central Mediterranean, but more in general, to keep migration in the discourse. And so keep migration in the public discourse and also rescue. We didn't really start as a rescue organization. That was not our primary aim. But because European governments and the Italian government especially were abdicating to their responsibility, that is part of their duty as governments since they signed international treaties that oblige them to rescue people, they were not actually respecting the law. So that is where a lot of ships from civil society actually stepped in. Mediterranea's ship was not the first one at all. There were already other ships operating in this part of the Mediterranean. There already was SOS Mediterránea, there already was Open Arms, there were several. But there was none that was Italian. And so as Italian citizens, we basically tried and decided to translate our need for action into facts, into actually doing something. So we basically crowdfunded a ship, and we trained people, and we hired a crew because that is what the law requires, and we went out to sea. That was basically late summer and early autumn 2018. So since then, we've had several missions. I think the last one was our 8th or 9th. But we had several missions, and we rescued several people. Mattia, the next speaker from Mediterránea, is actually part of the sea crew, and he's going to tell you more about that from his perspective. We rescued people as late as Friday last week. We rescued almost 70 people the other day, and we were very happy because, well, that's what we're there for. If we hadn't been there, there would have been a shipwreck, which was what had exactly happened off the coast of Tunisia just a few days before, which is what happened around Easter time as well. While all of us were celebrating Easter with our families, even on Zoom, some people were drowning in the Mediterranean, and that is not cool. So we decided to start an Italian platform for monitoring and sea rescue, also because this helped us in dealing with the Italian government. Taking away the excuse that, you know, it's foreign ships operating in the Italian Sea and so they cannot dock and this and that. Well, that is BS. You know what that means? So Italy and the European Union have signed international treaties related to sea rescue as well as to migration and human rights. And both Italy and the European Union are not really respecting them. On the one hand, they're speaking about human rights. They are talking about Europe as you know, a force for good and for human rights. But on the other hand, they're consciously letting people drown in the sea, and we wanted to stop that. A reason why it is important to keep this topic in the discourse is that if you die at sea, you drown, and if you drown, your body goes to the bottom of the water. Nobody can see it there. So this is why it was so easy to ignore the topic for 15, 20 years. I've been working on this since I was 20 years old. I'm 37 now. So this has been going on for a long, long time, but it only became visible, more visible in 2015 with the Syrian crisis, because suddenly big snakes of people were actually walking through the Balkans all the way to Europe. And then you could see them. That made them visible. We want the topic to stay visible, even if the snakes of people have now disappeared. From the point of view of politics and ideas, Mediterranea believes that human rights and freedom should be a right for everybody. We do not like the way that with the current world order, the amount of human rights you have basically depends on your passport. And nobody really chooses where they were born. There is absolutely zero merit in having been born within the borders of the European Union. You were just lucky. You just won the womb lottery. So we don't like this. We are absolutely against this, and we want the international law to be respected. If governments are not going to do them, friendly reminders every day. That is what we do. So we believe that migration is a right. It is a right to migrate. It is a right to stay where you are. But sometimes, as Ananda mentioned before, it is just not possible to not leave. Sometimes you have to leave. And today we have two examples of people who didn't have a choice, Venezuela and Syria. What are they going to do? One thing that we also think, and that we really believe in, is the fact that knowledge of situations really breeds respect. So if people know what the migrants in front of them have been through, you know, they will actually respect them more, because it's very difficult to treat somebody as inhuman when you know what happened to them. My time is almost up. There would be a lot to say. I also wanted to have like a quick piece of information about what Mediterranea does in Barcelona. Well, we organize things with people like Migracode. We hope this is the first of a series of collaboration with local realities. And we also try to organize events here with a double aim of fundraising and informing. So we need to raise funds, because having a ship is damn expensive, really very expensive. You have to pay for the sea crew, you got to pay for kerosene, you got to pay for maintenance. There's lots of expenses. So the local group of activists here organizes this kind of event, like, for example, aperitivo parties or film showings, this sort of thing. To raise funds. And on the other hand, we also do things to educate people. Yeah. So educate means inform, which breeds respect, as we said before. So what we do is organize information meetups, like the one we had with a journalist who lived in Africa, for example, informing us about where do these people come from. And yeah, that's about it. My time is up. So thanks a lot for your attention. We have a Facebook page of Mediterránea Barcelona. You can look for us. Mediterránea Barcelona is the name. It's pretty easy. Come join us. We meet twice a month. Our meetups are open to everybody, and we always need people to help and further the cause of human rights. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mark, it's your turn now. Thank you.
Hello everyone. So I'm Muaz from Syria. I would like to introduce myself more. So back to Syria, I'm from Damascus. I was raised in a small town next to Damascus, 15 minutes more or less driving. Well, as everyone knows about the war in Syria, it started in 2011, where people started a revolution against the regime of Syria, and they wanted to change a little bit. Basically, like, they wanted their freedom. And because of this tough war, more or less 50% of the people had to leave Syria. So, in my city, in 2016, we were almost 10,000 people trapped in almost 2 kilometers square. And the government was trying or forcing us to leave that place. So in the end, there was a deal between the rebels and the regime to take us out of this city and put us in the south of Syria, which is the borders of Turkey. So around 100 buses came, and they started transporting people from Damascus to Idlib, which is in the south of Syria, the borders of Turkey. Yeah, but when I had to leave Damascus, I was discussing with my friends. Well, we were a group of 25 people, but because of some reasons, only 11 of us left that place. So when we arrived to the south of Syria, we decided to leave Syria because, I mean, we had nothing there to stay for. So we decided to go to Turkey, and there was some problems actually because of the way and walking too much, finding the person who should take us from Syria to Turkey, how to find them, it's really a little bit difficult. In the end, we found a guy who accepted to take us from Syria to Turkey and pay money to him. So basically, we paid 350, almost each one of us. So we were 11 people, 3,500 euros. We paid to him, and he took us from Syria to Turkey. And the first time that the Turkish police caught us up, then they brought us back to Syria. We tried again, and we reached Turkey. So, as everyone, I thought the life will be like a normal life when I arrived to Turkey and start a new life. You know what I mean? So I arrived to Turkey, and in the first month, I started doubting myself. This is not the life that I want. I couldn't even get a document to walk in the street and show to the police, this is my document. It was impossible. I couldn't study even, I couldn't do anything. Just working 16 hours more or less per day to earn, I don't know, 400 euros per month. So I decided to leave. I told my friends, okay, let's leave this place because this is not the life that we want. Anyway, no one of them wanted to leave. So I told them, look, I'm leaving, I don't care. I took my things and I left to Greece. There I met OCC, where I started learning English. That was in 2017. I learned English in 6 months, which is something I'm really proud of. So after that, I got my documents in Greece and I left to Spain, where I got a work in Madrid. I started working there for 6 months. Then I met the coordinator of OCC again, and he was telling me about an opportunity to study coding at Migracode. For me, it was really an amazing opportunity because in Syria, I was working as a computer fixer and builder in the same time, but I didn't know anything about software or coding or anything. I just know how to put these pieces in the laptop or the computer and take it off. And that made me really interested in this opportunity. So I decided to take it because it's really a big opportunity and no one can offer you a course like this for free. Just come and study. No. So I moved from Madrid to Barcelona where I stopped my contract and I just left Madrid to Barcelona. And yeah, well, at the beginning I thought it's just a normal course. Okay, take it and go. Just find your job. I don't know, as normal schools. But when I arrived here, I got so much support. I mean, in everything you could imagine. A lawyer, I don't know, psychological doctor even, whatever you need, just something, just ask. I mean, even your mother wouldn't offer you this. Yeah, but because of the, well, current situation, it's quite difficult from all the sides. I mean, because of coronavirus, that made us struggling a little bit because of the online classes and all of this. But anyway, we are still motivated to finish this course. And I don't know, a really big thanks to Migracode because of this. They are really doing big efforts to take us out of this and start something new in our lives, which is really important for us.
That's about it. So if you still have something to share about Migracode, feel free to do so.
It's so hot.
it's
so hot, I can't be more.
No, but it's clear. Well, I have some questions for you afterwards.
Okay.
Now we can start with Mattia.
Okay.
And then you can get some fresh air now.
Okay.
Okay, thank you everyone. We're now switching to Mattia. And Mattia, are you there?
Yeah, thank you very much, and hi to everyone. And sorry for my English because it is not very good. And thank you very much for inviting me to join you today. I know some members of Mediterranea Barcelona, for example, Fabiana, Serena, Claudia, Paola, Giovanni. I really love them, so I am very happy to be with you today. Thank you again. Firstly, I would like to say that one of the marvelous things of Mediterranea is that, as you can see, we are together even if we come from very different worlds. For example, me, as you know, I am a priest, Catholic priest. Many members of Mediterranea are atheist or agnostic or Buddhist or Muslim, and many of them came from social centers, social movements. They came from cultural areas that were historically very far from Catholic Church. But even if we've come from different worlds, we are together because we understood that the feelings that we have in our heart are the same compassion, the same pity, the same thirst for justice. So we understood that we had to join together, to get together, to face this important mission that is Mediterranean. As Claudia said, we have done a rescue last week. It was a very important mission for Mediterranea for both the two main tasks of Mediterranea. As Claudia said, our mission has two main tasks. Not only to rescue people, but also to monitor, to testimony, and to report what happens at sea. And we are witnessing very serious human rights violations. 5 days ago, on 16 June, we had to witness a very sad case of refoulement, or refoulement, if you want to say it in French language. This is a very big problem. The refoulement is when the so-called Libyan Coast Guard catch migrants at sea and push back them to Libya. This is a very big problem because you know in the last century, after the Second World War, the humanity, the world, decided to make a progress, and they decided to write some conventions which gave an international legal connotation to some important human rights. For example, the human right to non-refoulement, established by Geneva Convention 1951. Geneva Convention said that every human being, just because he is or she is a human being, has the right to non-refoulement. That means that if you are fleeing from a place, an area in which your life or your safety are at risk, you cannot be pushed back. They cannot push you back to a place, a country, an area in which your life and your safety are at risk. Libya, you know, Libya is the hell, as migrant people use to tell us. We cannot even imagine what is happening in Libya. Migrant people are fleeing from Libya, and the so-called Libyan Coast Guard, financed mainly by Italian government, catch migrants at sea and takes them back to Libya. And 5 days ago, Mediterranea, our ship Mare Ionio, was in the middle of Mediterranean Sea when they had to see with their eye and to hear with their ear on the radio that the so-called Libyan Coast Guard was catching some migrants at sea, probably with the help of the airplanes of Frontex. That means that this is a very serious case of human rights violations committed by so-called Libyan Coast Guard, thanks to our Europe. The accomplice of our Europe is not a mystery. This is a fact. And Mediterranea has the mission to monitor, to testimony, and to report this. 3 days later, as you know, we had the grace, the luck to do a rescue. We received a Mayday that was saying that a boat with almost 70 migrants was in distress. They were at sea since 62 hours. If Mare Ionio would not reach them on time, those almost 70 people, they were exactly 67 people, would be died. Would be died because of injustice, as Pope Francis used to repeat. Because it is because of injustice that these people fleeing from their country, and it is because of injustice that these people die at sea. So Mare Ionio reached them on time, and Mare Ionio rescued them. And we, of course, we had to bring them to the place of safety. We asked the Italian government to give us a POS, a POS, a place of safety, and they gave us the place of safety of Pozzallo. We cannot take people back to Libya, as I said. We cannot take people to Tunisia, because even if Tunisia is not Libya, in Tunisia there is not a system of protection of asylum seekers. And so we had to take these people to Italy, to Europe, because Europe is the only place of safety for migrant people who are flying from Libya. And also, as Claudia said, every person should have the right of the freedom of movement. This is a human right, even if today our government don't believe that. These people are migrants who are fleeing from their country, they had to pass from Libya, which is the hell, and they wish to reach Europe. Mediterranea is an organization of people who come from different worlds, as I said, but want to be brothers and sisters for these people. This is what we try to do every day in our city, and this is what we try to do at sea. Last week, by the grace of God, we managed to achieve our purpose, with to help as brothers and sisters these people to reach Europe and to avoid to die at sea. So we would like to say a big thanks to everyone, to our crew. The crew of Barcelona is very, very important for Mediterranea. And we also would like to say a big thanks to every people who support Mediterranea. If we can do our mission is only thanks to people who support us. You know, if you go on our website, you can see the indication to donate some money to Mediterranea. Every euro that you give to Mediterranea is an euro used by Mediterranea to be able to go again at sea to rescue these people. So thank you very, very much for your help, your support, and for everything you are doing in your city to promote humanity and justice. Sorry again for my English, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Mattia. It was no worries about the English. All good, very clear. We're also going to upload that. So yeah, we got some questions coming in, some through the chat, some through WhatsApp and other means. I wanted to start quickly with a question from, let me see, Alia, if I pronounce your name correctly. If there's any support from social services to support students from Migracode in getting a job. So give me 1 sec, because I want to put the slides back up. Otherwise, there we go. So if we get some support, or our students get some support from social services in Barcelona and Catalonia from Spain in getting jobs. Yes, actually. I mean, our main effort is getting them into jobs directly with tech companies. So I would say that's what we mostly do. So really getting them into tech, into the corporate sector of technology, that is mainly what we try to do for Migracode. But if students need like temporary jobs or part-time jobs next to Migracode, or they cannot find a job in tech after Migracode because of, for instance, right now, the COVID situation, yeah, we ask help from different organizations. That can be social services, which is be arranged from the municipality of Barcelona, or from Generalitat de Catalunya, which is basically the provincial government of Catalonia. But we also collaborate with various non-profit organizations that are focused on helping people, especially migrants, to find work. We also have some students who don't have a work permit yet. So for those, it's even more difficult. So mostly for them, yeah, we definitely work together with other NGOs that can either find some kind of volunteer jobs so that they at least can get some experience. We are talking to some companies that offer some kind of volunteer options where they can do some tech so they can get the experience. And once they are eligible to getting a work permit, we hopefully still can connect them to a tech company after their Migracode period. So I hope that was a clear answer to your question, Alia. We got some other questions. Let me actually grab the other laptop so I can check it from there, which makes more sense. So let's first start. So Ananda Maya, can you maybe stand over here so we have some distance? There was one question. So for the last months, we've been studying online because Migracode basically moved completely online. How was this for you? Because you were not able to come to our classes, you were not able to to see the other students. You had to do everything from home. How was it for you?
It was a change. I was getting used to the fact of going there and be with everyone. One of the things that I would say is that the course is completely in English. So having people there, it might be a little easier when you're in front of them. And besides of that, I lived with my whole family, the 5 of us, all together. And the apartment was like this big open space. So maybe when we were in classes, it could be the TV or someone was doing something else, or maybe the fact that you're at home, it could get you distracted. It could make you feel, okay, well, I don't have to go. Maybe in the break I can take a nap or whatever, which you wouldn't do in a classroom. But we're getting used to that. And I think it's this challenge that it will help you actually, if all of this situation continues and you have to find a work from home, I would say this was like a training for that. It kind of prepares you.
That's a very good point, because indeed, probably the future is going to change a little bit in that way, and more you have to work from home, and maybe your first job is going to be remotely. But I was also asking, because I know that you're living with your boyfriend, you're living with your father, you're living with your sister and her boyfriend.
And my newborn nephew.
And your newborn nephew. And I think in the beginning of the lockdown, you were living in a 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom apartment?
Let's say it was just 2 bedrooms, so to say.
2 bedrooms.
And it was like this big open space, so we were all together.
Yes.
And this distracts you.
Yes.
And because not only the noise, because you can put your headphones and that's it. But you get distracted. Some people pass by, or they want to tell you something, and you get distracted. And when you come back to class, it's like
for studying as well.
For studying, for making the homework, everything. But it's this big training.
You managed.
Yeah.
We saw you did all the homework, so that's good.
Yeah.
No, amazing. No, that's very impressive, because it's been a challenge for a lot of our students, like being in small spaces with a lot of people confined for, how long was it? 2 months. So
2 months, maybe more.
It's quite impressive. We got another question from Lutte. Let me see. Well, let's ask you, Maya. How was your how did Migracode change your perspective for the future? What was your perspective when you came to Spain, and did Migracode change it?
Well, I had some knowledge in programming. I was studying. I had some working experience too. But when I came here, I was thinking, well, I'm gonna go and find a job on whatever. Maybe I can go on a star. I can be independent. I could be a waitress. I just want to work. That's all. And actually, I thought I might not have a choice to go to a tech company, because I don't have the work permit. I didn't finish studying, and I thought, why would a tech company hire someone that, okay, you don't have a work permit, but you don't have any finished studies? So I thought I would work on whatever. And finding Migracode, being able to prepare, because you have some knowledge, but you don't know everything. And this made me think again that I can go and work for a tech company. I can go and do what I want to do, what I like to do. Actually, I started thinking about a couple of years ago, maybe I don't like programming that much. And now I remember that I like programming. So
I'm happy to hear that, because otherwise we have a problem. But
good. I kind of remember, and now I think it's possible. Now I think it's possible, I want to do it, and I feel motivated.
That's good. Well, we will do everything to actually make it happen, for sure. Cool. So maybe we can switch to Moaz. Moaz, maybe you can stand over here and we still keep the distance. I'll steal the laptop. So one question that came up was actually, now you are actually about to finish, you have 2 weeks, 3 weeks left until you finish Migracode. So you're already applying for jobs. How is this going? Is it like difficult, or is it going super smoothly, or what do you think?
I'll be honest with you. So, I mean, I applied for 1,000 companies more or less. No, I think I got replies from 5 companies. So basically, no one is replying for the moment. I think because of the situation of coronavirus, people are not working, or I don't know. I mean, what's wrong exactly? But I'm sure it's not with me. So I'm doing everything correct. CV, I don't know, cover letters, all this stuff that they ask you to do. And honestly, they ask for lots of things. I mean, sometimes exams, sometimes tests, sometimes cover letters, which I didn't have experience with, and I'm learning everything from scratch now. But well, I have some experience with it now, and I can keep working with it.
And how is Migracode helping you with that part? Because we helped you. Well, we tried to help you with the tech part, but I think we're also trying to help with this part.
Yeah, we have some volunteers who are working on this, and sometimes I have some calls, one-to-one, like online call, and they help a lot. For example, with preparing a CV or motivation letter, or I don't know, cover letter, for example. Like depending on the things that you want. Last time I was doing my LinkedIn, for example, and I needed some help. So I asked one girl of the girls, and she was helping a lot.
Yeah, I guess you mean Chris also.
Yes,
we have a really enthusiastic volunteer. Yeah, we have an amazing volunteer community that we're super thankful for that is helping this.
Yeah,
it's good to hear that you really benefit from that. Okay, thank you. It's super nice. I think there was one more question for you as well, Momas. I'm not sure. Let me see. Well, no, this was actually a question for Mediterranea. So Mo, you can have a seat. Thank you so much. Yeah, we can switch like this. It's a challenge here, doing a webinar, keeping all the meter and a half distance in mind. But yeah, Paula, there was a question.
Tell us.
How does Mediterranea help refugees after they have actually, or do you help them after they actually came from the sea to the shores of Spain in this case? Or do you work together with other organizations to forward them? How does it work?
Yes, well, basically, Mediterranea assists people coming in from other lands until they disembark on the Italian soil. After that, we usually collaborate with local realities like the one of Migracode, because that is not part of our mission. Yes. Our mission is mostly related to the sea, monitoring and reporting what happens in the sea and making sure that states respect international law, because they try not to do that. They try to get away with not doing it all the time. So we don't really help migrants after they disembark. We usually try to help them arrive alive, which is not necessarily a given, unfortunately. So yeah, we collaborate, we share information with other, sea rescue organizations. We try to, we're all on the same page. Our aim is to help create safe passage in the sea where there is no safe passage, even if technically there should be. So yeah, no, we don't really have any on-land activities related to refugees. What we do as land crews, I mean, we always say Mediterranea is at sea and on land. What we do is what I was saying before, so we kind of try to raise awareness of the issue. That's what we do on land. We raise awareness with information events, inviting journalists, talking about where do these people come from, what happens in Africa, what happens in the Middle East, why do people decide to leave. But that is about it from the point of view of land work. For us, it's double. We do work with migrants if it happens with local organizations. But from the point of view of our land crews, what we do is raise awareness in the general population, which is very important, and prepare the ground for sea missions to be able to function, to rescue, and to
yeah, sorry, continue.
To function, to rescue, and to do its work. So for example, I mean, like we just rescued now. And we hope that we will be able to go back to our missions very soon, because that was pretty complicated until, well, we were basically docked for 9 months. for different reasons, not just because of COVID. Yeah, for example, you know, like we had to equip ourselves to rescue in compliance with new COVID regulations. So that's the kind of stuff we do, logistics on land. And of course, if we get invited to events like yours, we are very happy to actually interact with people who are on the next step of their journey of rebuilding their life, because we would like to do more and more of this, create a connection between the sea and land, because integrating the two is the only way to get ahead. You help us and we help you, and it's all, you know, it's all a circle of help, in fact, helping us to stay human.
Yeah, no, very true. No, these collaborations are like, indeed, we start at sea and we go to integration programs like Migracode, labor integration, and then we connect to NGOs and companies that actually, well, can actually help the students or general people with a migration background to actually find a job and, like you said, rebuild their life. So yeah, very clear. Thank you so much. Let's see if there were some other questions. Well, thank you, Roberto, for your really nice comment. That is one thing I definitely want to say. So I think those were the questions. So
all
maybe somebody else still wants to unmute and maybe ask a question. It's still possible.
Yes, we're waiting for your questions. We want participation. We like that.
So if somebody has a question, you can unmute. Otherwise, we're gonna close. So, yeah, exactly. That's it for now. So yeah, I'm just gonna thank you all for joining. We are very thankful that you joined, because it's really important that we share the importance of both what's happening on sea and indeed the lives that are in danger on sea, and like organizations like Mediterranea doing very important work there, and also that we could share our message of our students here at Migracode. If you're interested in either joining one of the organizations, you can check the links that we shared on meetup.com or LinkedIn or wherever. You can find all the links to our websites to find more information. You can find us on LinkedIn. So yeah, join us if you can. If you want, you can volunteer. If you work for a tech company, who would be very interested to talk to you to find any potential collaboration. And for now, again, thank you very much. And thank you very much to everyone who joined here. Moaz and Damaya and Paola and Mattia. Thank you very much. And thank you, Giovanni, for getting us in touch as first contact. So thank you for joining, and we hope you join in our next webinar, or hopefully actually in person normal event. Thank you so much.